Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. This is a public meeting of the Denham Springs City Council being held on May 26, 2026 at 6 p.m. here in the courtroom at the Municipal Building, 116 North Range Avenue. All notices have been posted and the media has been notified as required by law. To begin tonight, I'm going to ask Councilman Poole if he would lead us in prayer and pledge allegiance.
Gladly. Thank you, Jeff. Let's pray. Father, we give you thanks for this great community and for your oversight upon her. God, we ask that the business of this council conducted this evening would glorify you, Father, and that we would do so with a focus on you and on service to those that have privileged us with the opportunity to sit up here. Don't let us ever overlook the gravity of that responsibility. So, Father, we love you as we give you thanks. Again, we ask for eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to love you above all else. We ask these things by the power of your Spirit and in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, I am not Mayor Gerard Landry. I'm the Mayor Pro Tem, Jeff Wesley. Mayor Landry's is still a little under the weather. He's getting much better, and he'll be back shortly, probably the next day or two. So just keep him in your prayers as he recuperates from a little minor illness that he had. All right, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Dugas? Here. Gilbert?
Here.
Lamb Williams? Here. Poole?
Here.
Wesley?
Here. All right. Item 1, approve as published the official journal minutes of the May 12th, 2026 City Council meeting.
Motion
to approve.
Oh, second.
Motion by Gilbert, seconded by Dugas.
Dugas? Yes. Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams? Yes. Poole?
Abstain?
Wesley?
Yes. Item number 2, approve the request of Jessica Storms on behalf of DG of Louisiana, LLC, doing business as Dollar General, 18404, for a retailer's Class B retail package sales high alcohol permit for the business located at 2330 South Range Avenue, Suite A, Denham Springs, Louisiana. They have met all requirements for this permit.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion by Lamb Williams, second by Poole.
Dugas? Yes. Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams? Yes. Poole?
Yes.
Wesley?
Yes. Okay, we have several public hearings tonight, a total of 4 actually on the agenda. So before we get to those, I wanted to revisit some of the guidelines that we have for public hearings so that everyone knows what to expect. Please make sure, first of all, that you signed in tonight to speak. We'll give the first person who is for and the first person who is against the item 5 minutes in which to speak. Please make sure you select someone who can cover the main points on your side. After this, each additional speaker will have 2 minutes in which to speak, and we'll call you up in order that you signed in. If a council member should stop you while you're talking and ask a question or get clarification, that does not affect your time. We will add or continue to have your time after you've answered that question, so it will not interfere with that. If someone has already made the point that you're going to make, we would ask that you not do it again. The council has already heard that point, and so we'd ask that it only be brought up once. We acknowledge that you are all concerned about traffic and water, drainage. However, these are not issues that the council has the jurisdiction to enforce. We cannot deny rezoning based on water, flooding, or traffic issues. If this passes, whatever item it might be, the gravity drainage district will review all the plans for drainage and will address any water issues that may arise. DOTD will do the same with traffic. As much as we'd love to be able to address those issues, the state does not give us that authority. Please stick to the facts. Please refrain from comments about people rather than issues. Please direct your comments only to the council and not to fellow members of the public in the audience. As people speak, you may think of questions that you want to have answered. We'll have time at the end of for each representative for each side to clarify the answers to any questions that might arise. Okay, having said that, item 3, we're going to hold a public hearing for an ordinance to amend section 1.02 of Article 1 of the Denham Springs Zoning Commission Ordinance 1001 by adding thereto paragraph 201 to rezone from C3 commercial to I1 industrial for lot CB1 located in section 67 T7S-R2E GLD, City of Denham Springs, Livingston Parish, Louisiana, RZ 460. A rezoning request has been made by Clifton Brown. This property is located at South River Road and Florida Avenue Southwest. So we'll start with those four. And Mr. Brown, since you are the first, you were the one responsible for putting this on the agenda, do you want to come up and speak about it?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to just let everybody know that I had no intentions of trying to get this moved to industrial until the person that was purchasing it came to me with the idea of making a laydown yard. So before he spends that kind of money purchasing a piece of property, he wanted to make sure that he could do what he needed to do on that property. Well, that's where we ran into the problem of the city stating that it needed to be moved to industrial for him to use that piece of property as a laydown yard. So that's the only reason I'm here. I wasn't trying to make anybody upset. I understand it's industrial. I understand it's a far stretch, in my opinion, to make that piece of property industrial, but apparently that's the city's rules, and that's why I'm here. So, ever since I've had that piece of property, I've tried to improve it. I mean, everybody lives on Northwood Crest should be patting me on the back for getting that creek cleaned out and getting that water drained off of them. It took me like 7 months to get that done. So everything I've tried to do is try to improve it. What Brad's trying to do with that property is very simple. He's going to park some vehicles there and put some equipment there. That's the least, in my opinion, I think that the folks that live around there need to worry about. One thing I like to say that US Highway 190 goes from Florida to California. That's a very busy US highway. There's, in my opinion, the commercial area that it is fits the property, right there on a major highway like that. So I'm not here to, like I said, I really wasn't a fan of doing the industrial, but that's what we were told to do by the city, so that's why I'm here. And that's why I put this request in, is so the person that's trying to purchase it could fulfill his business obligations on that same piece of property. Anybody have any questions for me?
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Is there anyone else to speak in favor of this item? Please state your name and your address, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Brad Allen. My business is 2230 Tower Street, traffic control product. The reason for wanting to purchase the property was growth. We're a growing business. We try to employ local personnel. We try to give back and pay taxes to the city and the community. So my purpose for the property, as I've discussed with anybody who wanted to listen, was that I would clear what needed to be cleared, not the whole thing. I mean, I can't afford to go ahead and clear it all, rock it all, do whatever, make a yard out of all of it. But what's needed to clear it, and my intention is to park trucks, trailers, equipment, and then we're a guardrail and sign installer company, and we would place those materials there on the ground. So that's it, I just kind of want to make it clear, what my intentions were. And, we try to be a good neighbor, try to be a good business, try to fit in the community, so that's it, thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak before this item? Okay. We'll go for those who are against.
There was a couple, that had just come in. I don't know, they hadn't had a chance to sign in if they do want to speak, but I do have a list here.
All right. So is there anyone who came in who has not put their name on this list that would like to speak? Okay. We'll start with the list. Mr. James Smith, would you come forward?
My name's James Smith, my wife Kim Smith. We've been living on the property over 40 years, and
Mr. Smith, would you give us your address again, please, sir?
748 Castlewood Street.
Okay, thank you.
Now, the property began with as residential, and then it went from there to commercial. Now we want to go to industrial. That's a far stretch, wide gap there between there. I mean, you can, they say they're gonna put a laydown lot on it. Now, what that happen if a year from now, somebody else buys the property and they put like fabrication shops on it? Then they have I just looked it up, and then you got fabrication shops, you got parking and repair shops, manufacturing buildings, distributing facilities. And it's a wide range of industrial can go in that property. And I oppose that completely. And for one reason is because of the noise, And the noise of it, I don't wanna go on my back porch and hear all this noise coming, from my backyard. And I oppose that. And, also, from what I understood, it was gonna be a 17-acre lot, laydown lot, is that correct? You know, 17 acres?
I don't know how many acres it's gonna be, sir.
No, I mean,
It's 19 acres.
19 acres lot?
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering, we live a quarter mile from the river, Amen River. We got flooded in 2016, and it got 7.5 feet under our house. Now, is that property, that laydown lot, is it gonna be raised up above flood stage? And if it is, I was wondering, that is gonna be like an island out there in the middle of the woods. Where is all that water gonna drain from? And another thing is, whenever they went from residential to commercial, they had a survey team come out behind our house surveying the property. And I walked out there and I was talking to them, and they said there may be a proposed drainage ditch being dug behind our house, their drainage canal. I don't know how true that is, but that's what the surveyors told us. We don't want no drainage canal, right behind our backyard. Because if it fills up, guess where that water's gonna go? It's gonna come in our yard. And like I said, we live a quarter mile from the river. We're 10 foot off the ground. We've been flooded 4 times by the Amen right there. We don't want no more drainage problems. And like I said, that's a wide range when it's going from commercial to industrial. I mean, they can put a lot of things on there. Hospitals, they can put concrete manufacturing in there. That's off our backyard. We don't want to see that on there. Plus, it's full of woods there. All them woods gonna be cleared out. It's gonna be just a big open area there. And the last thing I would like to say is, at the rezoning committee, I would hope that y'all would go with their advice. All of them unanimously denied having that rezoned, industrial. And, I would hope y'all would consider their votes on that issue. But like I said, we don't want all this back behind our house. I mean, it's been woods there for forever, plus River Road right there, historical River Road there. They're gonna have a driveway come out from there, from what I understand. And it's a madhouse right there in the morning time. If you ever been down River Road in the morning time, it backs up half a mile down the road. It's gonna be a big traffic jam too. But, yeah, consider, what the rezoning committee voted on. And that's all I've got. Thank you very much too. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
I have a question, just to go off, not for you, but just to go off of what he said, Rick, just to address that. If there's no buildings being built on the property, would the property have to be elevated?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to address that.
Well, what about later on if he's decided to sell the property to some other company?
But I just wanted to clarify, if there's no buildings being built on it, then the property
As of
doesn't.
right now,
Correct.
as of right now, but it could change.
Well, anytime that you're
Okay.
building a building like that,
Yeah, but
yeah, it would have to be
It
built
could
on.
change if it went to a different owner.
Right.
Miss Ann, do you want to speak to Miss Ann Smith?
Karen,
It's Karen.
I'm sorry,
Well, I'm,
Karen, I don't know.
okay,
Oh,
hi. Karen Smith, 748 Castlewood Street. My main thing I was thinking about was just re-emphasizing, if it's going to be rezoned, to the light industrial as, you know, it's proposed to be or whatever. That's my main concern. I understand what they said they were going to do, but what if later on they change their mind, or what if they want to sell? You know, like it's been brought up already, it's a wide range of options that can be put in on that property for industrial. And so that's my main point I wanted to mention.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Miss Ann Smith, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong name.
I knew I wasn't second.
I'm looking at her and thinking of you.
Isn't that a song?
That wasn't me.
Randy, I would like to say first that Randy would like to be here, but he had another meeting that he had to be at for work, and so I am here. I don't really like to speak in public, but
We need your address, please, ma'am.
we live at 1283 South River Road, and it is our property. Our driveway runs parallel to the entrance to this property on River Road. So these trucks would be running right beside our house. Just saying that. But you asked us not to repeat things, so I'm not going to repeat what these two said, but I am in full agreement with them. And I do hope you'll consider the concerns of the citizens of this city. Because we live here, we vote here, we pay taxes here, and it's important to us. And there is a lot of traffic on River Road in the mornings and in the evenings. And there's just this little strip that runs right beside our driveway and goes back into the woods back there. So the property is an odd shaped piece of property. And I don't know if DOTD is okay with big trucks coming in and out of historic River Road, but I do see that it could be a big problem. And he mentioned lights, but I'm thinking also noise. Because if we end up with some kind of other business than what is being mentioned tonight, it could have big lights that would disturb the ambiance, if you will, of people's backyards, just to be able to go out in peace and be able to look at the stars and the moon, you know, and that's what we have now, and we want to keep it that way.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure, is it Randy? Randy, okay. What's your last name, sir?
Melanie,
Melanie, okay. And your address, please?
1721 Oak Woodcross.
Okay.
The one thing that I'm concerned about is that the value of that land, and he just wants to park trucks on it. There's a lot of other places in Denham that's already in Livingston zoned for that. Why does he want to buy this particular piece? It's a very, very nice piece of property right there that he wants to put something else on. I believe the trucks are just to get him in. In a few years, it's gonna change. And next thing you know, we're gonna have Sanders Chicken in the backyard or some big giant, corporation buying that land. I believe that just to park trucks, why does he want that particular property? The one thing about it is, to sell it as now industrial means the property value went up. But living next to it means our property value goes down.
Yeah.
So that's the main concern, and the trucks are just a ploy to get it in. Something else is coming, it's gonna raise the value. Parking trucks can be parked anywhere. If he wants to park his trucks, he can rent somewhere. The park trucks is actually already available somewhere in Livingston Parish. The idea is, why there? What part of that property means, I'm gonna put my trucks there and be further away from the job? The city of Denham's pretty much done already. He needs trucks to work in Livingston that's being developed. Why do we want to put them a little bit further out in the country where it wouldn't bother anybody? The thing, plus you gotta worry about the dust. Everybody's talking about the noise, you know what I mean? What is it gonna be like in the morning when I wake up and all of these trucks are rattling and everything else? And you said it, well, it's just parking, it's not just parking trucks. They just need to get this land, say, oh, we just parking trucks. We need to get it zoned to industrial, and something else will come. When, I just wanna know why there, when they got places already in Livingston zoned for this, that'd be a lot cheaper.
Mr. Randy, I don't wanna take, I'm sorry, let me get comment back.
Sure.
And I could be wrong, I'm sorry I'm taking a liberty here.
Yeah.
It was my understanding when going over everything, they wanted that, they bought the old cable property, that's their other laydown one, their whole business is there. I think it's just where they can keep all their equipment together and it's an open piece of property. I'm just saying, like, I know, I mean, you gotta look at everything, but there could also be, they're a small business owner, getting bigger, and have been really good community park, like, they haven't done anything with the current laydown yard.
Currently, you know,
So,
it was nothing but woods. Now it's a lot cleared out, and it's just gonna develop even further.
Oh, absolutely,
You know what
whether
I mean?
it's
And
them or anyone, like, it's
yeah,
gonna get
like I
developed.
said, let's say his company gets even bigger and he grows out of that land. He says, let's move somewhere and take it on,
Yeah.
go somewhere else, and sell it to somebody else that has even bigger.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying something couldn't happen, but I'm just saying, I just
Oh,
kinda
it
want it
will
on
happen.
record, like, his
It's
business is right there. So I think
growing.
that's kinda keeping
And
it, I
it's
just
the only thing I've asked.
kinda want to take it back.
Why that property being so valuable, he just wants to come trucks in. When it could be a neighborhood, which would be rather, I mean, we all gotta worry about the flood, I know we addressed that, I wanna talk about it. I'll come from New Orleans, I live in Chalmette.
Yeah.
I got, almost 16 feet of water. I met somebody in Denham Springs, and we got married, and she was, oh, don't flood there. And, I bought the house, and I got 7 foot.
I'm sorry.
I know, it's funny, and then I got 7 foot water. The only good thing is, next time I might get 3.
There we
You know what I
go,
mean?
there we go.
I said, I'm
Staying positive.
I'm a professional flood victim.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Gosh,
If
I'm sorry.
somebody gets flooded, talk to me.
Right.
You know, I can help them out.
Mhm.
That's what's gonna happen. But like I said, there's a lot of worry,
Right.
and I just think that it's not designed for the trucks to
Mhm.
get it zoned.
Right. Oh, that.
Maybe I won't live another 10 years, I won't get to see this. You know, me, my wife, and somebody, people in this neighborhood, we gotta protect each other in the future,
Oh,
people with
absolutely.
kids.
Mhm.
All the poison that's gonna come out of those trucks, they got the kids that live in the neighborhood, now they're playing, see, I'm from Sherman where the Kai's refiner.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have to pay my grandmother every month because every time you went out the house, it was covered in yellow.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
they had to come and power wash the entire neighborhood.
Mhm.
And that was from the 30s all the way up to Kai's finally closed because of that. And this is the type of thing that I watched happen in
Mhm.
Chalmette. And I moved here thinking I wouldn't have to worry about it. I mean, if you've been, any of y'all been showman, you know showman? It's nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, in the backyard,
Yeah,
it's
it's
Jack's
nothing.
Sonia, well, it's Domino, Sugar, all of these places. I mean, I don't think most people realize that before they had a factory, they would come out with keys and showman. Most
Okay.
people don't remember that.
I hate to interrupt you, but your 2 minutes is.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got
But,
you.
I'll go on. But like I said, that's what I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mason Lee,
My name's Mason Lee, resident of 1751 North Woodcrest, and, my biggest issue with this, on top of everything my neighbors have already stated, is, we've got a really good take care in Denham Springs. We've got a great community, we've got great local partners here, but everything has a place and a fit. I don't imagine a Walmart neighborhood market being a perfect fit for Antique Village. It's something that just would be out of place. And yes, while Florida is a good thoroughfare, big way of traffic, makes sense, you're also talking about putting an industrial site cozied up into a neighborhood. Now, I'm sure everybody here will agree, we love seeing our town grow. We love seeing people wanting to come live and enjoy our way of life. My biggest concern, though, is by doing this, we're sacrificing that. Yes, we're helping a local business stay local, but as mentioned before, there are other sites that make more sense for this business to move to. So, I'll keep it short. I just ask that, when it comes to a vote, y'all vote like a neighbor. Do you want to see an industrial site in your neighbor's backyard? That's all I got. Thank you.
thank you. Miss Melanie, do you want,
Everything's been talked about.
you don't want to defend yourself against his accusation? We'll do that some other time.
I do. I'm at 1721 North Woodcrest Avenue. Everybody said everything that is my concern, the noise, even the smells, the water, all that. So, I just don't know. I like my neighborhood. It's quiet. I just don't want I don't want to see anything like that come to the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your first name for the record?
Debbie.
Thank you.
Mr. Robert Alello?
Well, the only thing I want to say is I'm completely against it, opposed.
Mr. Alello, would you give us your address, please, sir?
I've lived 738 Castlewood.
Thank you.
I've lived there since 1971 and flooded several times. In 16, I had over 7 feet in my house. And since then, I had my house elevated. But it's a quiet neighborhood and I like to see it stay that way, not industrial. So that's all I need to say.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak for or against that hasn't signed the list? Okay, I need a motion to,
I have a
well,
question.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Council.
I just wanted to see if either Brad or Clifton, probably Brad, would be willing to come back up and address 2 concerns that I wrote down. I don't know if anybody else wrote down some concerns that were mentioned. Number 1 was wide air. I don't know if you wanted to address that. And number 2 was about the entrance and exit possibly being on River Road, if you wanted to address that.
Yeah, so while there, so our business was started by Randy Butler, my wife's dad, in 1984. And he's been there since, well, it's actually started in 78, but we've been on Tower Street since 84. So, along the way, we've, like I said, we've been blessed, we've been able to grow, and we've, able to acquire other buildings on Tower Street, and then also the property on 4H and Russian, where we currently have a yard there. So, you know, so Clifton, the property that's available that we're gonna discuss tonight is just straight across the street from Tower Street. So it's, as far as, you know, having a place to store my equipment where where it's readily available and we can get to it anytime that we need it, it's just, it's really perfect for what we need. I mean, they're not making any other property, there's nothing else available in our area, and that's good, you know, so, whatever, you know, may be, you know, we try to be a good steward of what we have and make the use of it. And then the entrance, we're aware that, big trucks are not allowed, to enter and drive down, River Road, so that's something that wouldn't happen. You know, as far as the trucks coming in and out of there, the big trucks, you know, we understand that that's not allowed. And then there was another thing on, you know, building it up. We understand that, you know, first of all, we couldn't afford that, but, it wouldn't be allowed, the Corps wouldn't allow it, and there's no reason for us to build it up for what we need when there's strictly pretty much a gravel parking lot or a lot.
So you're saying that your primary entrance and exit would be Florida Boulevard?
Florida Boulevard, straight across from Tower Street. There's a 50-foot servitude that goes into the property. Yes, ma'am.
Would you care to, be more specific about what would be in the yard, what you would place in?
Yes, sir. So in the yard, we would have trucks and trailers.
When you say trucks, what
So
size?
anything from an F-150 to a big truck. So we're in the guardrail business, so we have guardrail pounders. If you pass by across the street from racetrack on 4H, everything that's in that yard, that equipment is the same, excuse me, same type of equipment that would be over there as far as trucks. So we have trucks, trailers, you know, we have bucket trucks and boom trucks. We have a lot of equipment. And we have a few skid steers and a few excavators, small equipment. That's also in the same yard on 4H. And then materials, we're in the guardrail business, so we would be putting sticks of guardrail material, guardrail posts, and we're in the sign business, so it would also be the big signs that you see there, and then those posts and that equipment as well.
Would there be any chemicals of any sort stored there?
No, sir. No chemicals. No chemicals. No.
Any other
We
questions?
do not use any chemical. I mean, we put, you know, diesel and gas in our trucks and oil and antifreeze and whatever, just like everybody else, but we don't use chemicals for anything that we do.
Mr. Brett, so if the entrance and exit is gonna be on Florida Boulevard, but y'all are gonna have a driveway onto River Road, what is that to be used for?
So, I mean, it would be available.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, I'm not saying that we wouldn't, as, I think, to be honest with you, I think there's a lot of big trees there that, Mr. Smith had talked to Clifton about,
Yeah.
you know. So if we, you know, we may work with them if that's something that they would wanna do, if this was to go to, you know, help to get those trees down, because they're very big trees that's on this property that would, you know, possibly fall towards their house or wherever. So, you know, it may be just, I don't know that we would use it, to be honest with you. I mean, I have no plans to use it. I would be willing to work with the neighbors to help them if I had something on my property or that property that would cause harm to them.
I guess my other question was, you mentioned when you first spoke in the very beginning that you had no intention of clearing out the whole piece of property.
Sure.
Would you be willing to leave a perimeter around the whole property
Sure.
that the neighbors couldn't see through?
That's correct. So it's pretty heavily wooded, and I spoke and talked to Clifton and some others, but you know, like 100-foot servitude, you know, all around the property on the, you know, against the residence, against Woodcrest in the back street there,
Castlewood
Castlewood.
and River
Yeah.
Road?
And we would, you know, I would go in and clear an area that I needed now, but I would not clear, even the whole 8 or 9 acres or whatever would be available if we left all the big wooded timber, the 100-foot servitude or 100.
So you're saying like 100-foot servitude deep to their property?
Right, from their property line into
yours.
this property, yes, 100 foot.
And I believe it's 50 foot that's required to begin with, if this were to be an approved use, and he's offering to go more than that.
Right.
Well, even if it was 50, I don't know if he would have to leave it wooded, huh?
Yes,
Yeah, well, yeah.
well, not wooded, there are
Yeah,
requirements.
they would have to
in the
leave a
landscape ordinance.
servitude, but he's saying he'll leave it wooded
Now, there are
also.
landscape ordinance
Yeah,
requires.
not,
They have to have a buffer,
yeah, they have to have a buffer, but, I mean, our
which
regular.
could be just like
Uh,
shrubs.
yeah, shrubs, a fence, yeah, so I mean, if he's wanting to leave it deeply
It
wooded.
depends on whether it's a berm,
Yeah.
shrubs, trees, a fence, it depends on how thick that buffer zone is.
Right, right.
So if it's 50 feet or 100 feet, then it's really just trees, right, Rick?
So, yeah, the landscape ordinance is in chapter 78, and it's really pretty specific about the density of the buffer, the closer or the less the yard is that's provided. The more yard that's provided, the less dense it has to be, but it still has to have X amount of Class A trees or Class B trees. It has to have X amount of grass. It has to have X amount of shrubs, those kinds of things. There was an agreement that was made with First Baptist Church by the previous landscape review coordinator for 60 feet of untouched buffer. Problem is 60 feet keeps getting eaten away, and it's much less now, so those kinds of things just happen. You forget what you're supposed to have of untouched, and well, that looks kind of scrabbly over there, and well, let's go clean it up, and it gets cleaned up, and that's no longer untouched. So, but can it? Yeah. And I can't remember, we looked at it last week. I can't remember exactly how far out it was. It was somewhere between 40 and 50 feet, I believe.
Okay. Any other questions by the council?
I guess I have, I cannot imagine supporting an industrial zoning on that piece of property. I just can't. Once we do that, then we've relinquished any future control on the use of that land. But what comes to mind is something that we've often done is, and have we looked at a provisional land use variance with strict guidelines as an option. In other words, I get, the thing that I heard from most of the opponents is not so much necessarily what you want to do with it, and I may be wrong about that. But their greater concern seems to be what may happen down the road. So if you convert it to industrial, it's industrial and we're stuck with it.
Sure, that's correct.
We've frequently enacted provisional variances, leaving it commercial and granting a limited right on a use that would comply with your desire. That being provisional, it can even be time-based so that it's visited every 3 years or whatever. And if there's major concerns or contractual violations, then we have the authority then to bring it back in line with its current use.
Right, yes, sir.
And I'm just curious if, Rick, maybe you might speak to that. I know you will, and I know how well you do your job, and I know you're not a big fan of that. But it needs to be, I guess, at least addressed.
So let me throw this out there. The property that's down on 4-H Club and Russian, that property is C2. I haven't got any complaints on it. There's a chain link fence. There was an old oak tree in there. There was a lot of green space in there. You can go back and take a look at Google Maps, on Street View, and you can see what it was and what it is now. So there was, and again, policing is difficult. We are a small department that is very, very often complaint driven. If I don't have a complaint on it, just because something's not compliant, doesn't mean that I'm able to track it down and try to bring it back into compliance. I've got 2 other properties that were, during the course of all of this, that were brought to my attention as well, that I need to go back out and, we'll address those with NOVs and try to bring everybody into compliance, not just one. I don't want to pick on anybody. So it's those kinds of things when we get in these situations that policing is not always the easiest thing.
Right, but it is available. It is a mechanism. The NOV is at least a mechanism to right a wrong. If we make it industrial, we're done. As long as it complies with industrial use ordinances, we have no further recourse.
Nothing but time.
Yeah.
But, Rick, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the special use permits are written into the code. Like you have this can go into a C2 with a special use.
Correct.
For this one, it's not that case, is
The
that
land
right?
use, correct, the land use on this is specific with I-1 or I-2. It doesn't even give you the option for a special use.
If you wanted to do that, you'd have to amend the code to allow it to be C with special use of industrial later. Or create a new, category that allows the layout yard but nothing else.
I want to comment on that as well when you're done.
Just my final comment would be that since the line item is about an ordinance specific to rezoning, we couldn't do this tonight anyway. We can't change from what we're here for.
Correct.
We could deny it and then pursue that avenue, which is what I'm inclined to suggest. I gotta tell you that whatever we decide to do, I cannot vote to change that to industrial. That's only one vote, but.
I completely agree with you, and I think from my standpoint, I understand a lot about flooding. I can tell you at the parish and the state level, a lot's being done about that. Our base flood elevation in that area will come down in the years to come. So to me, this is a really good use of this property. You don't have to build it up, causing watershed issues. So that'd be a good thing. So if you went and looked at many other things that are available to be done right now, it would cause a lot of that. Also, agriculture, implement sales and service, lumber yard. There's several things in here that you probably wouldn't want that are uses on C3. The other thought I have is that, and we've had some discussions around some of this. I'll talk to a few other councilmen and as well as Rick. And in my opinion is, okay, well, it's a fact. Your business is not an industrial business. Your business is commercial. And one of the things that I found is going around following up on some of these things, some of these businesses, they are out of compliance, okay? But the equipment that they have are equipment that are in line with commercial businesses. So I'm going back to what Councilman Poole just pointed out. I think this is something we can address in the ordinances, in code, because the last thing we want to do is hinder a commercial business being able to do their job. Things have changed over the past several decades. Equipment is more affordable and usable, and as you know, as you have to stay competitive. A lot of the equipment I've seen on some of these other lots that are like in the middle of town, they're in line with the business. So I really believe, because I'm gonna definitely agree with you again. I cannot. This is 2 votes. I cannot, with a clear conscience, vote to rezone this industrial. However, I don't have so much of an issue with what you're trying to do with the property. I think it's a good use, and I think it's going to preserve that property. I do believe that once we do get further down and flooding is much less than a threat, it's going to be really valuable. You may decide you want to sell this off for somebody to whether it's rezone residential. There are a lot of commercial uses you could use it for. So honestly, I think if we can amend this code, and I've done a lot of research, I've done a lot of, and there's a lot of code out there written, and this is definitely something we're going to have a great legal mind, like the one at the end of the table down here. There's a lot of discussion that talks about equipment that is in line with the use of the commercial business. So if your business is commercial, then we need to talk about how we work with you, in my personal opinion, to to try to make this the right thing for everybody. There are a lot of uses on this list I don't want to see there either. And I definitely don't want to see industrial. I think that when we zoned, zoning is a vision you have for your city. So when we zone this property, we had a vision for our city. So to go from residential to commercial, it's not that big a stretch. You can, there's businesses from residential to industrial. It's a huge, it's not one you're gonna see me vote on, I can tell you.
I understand completely.
So from where I'm at, I really do believe we can address the ordinances. Like I said, I've already started doing some research. I know a couple others have as well. We've had a few discussions. Without having a quorum, you can't go but so far. But I do believe the answer is amending the code and not rezoning the property.
Could I have the floor for just a moment?
Absolutely, yeah.
What is the zoning of the property in front of Healing Place Church? Did we zone that industrial? Is that a lay down yard?
Correct, that was, all of that was moved or was made I-1.
It was made I-1,
Correct.
okay.
Part of it was actually I-1 because of
Right.
the electrical substation right there.
Right,
And so it was just enlarged to incorporate that so that they could park their lots, their equipment and have their materials and that kind of thing there.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
If there's no other discussion with the audience, I'm gonna make a motion that we just close the public hearing, and then when we move to the next one, then we can continue to discuss.
Motion by Lamb Williams.
Second.
Second by Poole.
Dugas,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Lamb Williams,
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. All right, so now we're gonna move to item 4, which is approve an ordinance to amend section 1.02 of Article 1 of the Denham Springs Zoning Commission Ordinance 1001 by adding thereto paragraph 201 to rezone from C3 commercial to I1 industrial for lot CB1 located in section 67 T7S R2E GLD City of Denham Springs, Livingston Parish, Louisiana RZ 460, a rezoning request by Clifton Brown, South River Road at Florida Avenue. A yes would be to rezone it to industrial, a no would be to not rezone it. So
Can I make a motion to deny, Stephanie?
Yeah, any motion yet?
I'll make a motion to deny.
Discussion, or do I have to wait for a second?
So let me understand what your motion is. You're simply a no vote
Denying,
as it's written.
rezoning the property.
Yeah, so I'll second that motion.
Now can I discuss?
sure.
I just wanted, I've listened to y'all and I don't disagree with, going over the ordinance, making some changes. I feel like that's probably gonna be a 4 to 6 month process in order to do it. But do I think it needs to be done based on the changes that have been made? Absolutely, I do. I was gonna, offer or discuss the fact of, doing a special use variance for this property in that it addresses the people's concern. This would be a special use variance to go to I-1 in order for this particular business to open, to do exactly what he said to do, with exactly the servitude that he has promised to do. And if he ever sells the property, it automatically reverts back to C3. And we did this with the hotel property on Tate Road, or the Tate property on Pete's Highway. And that happened. That exact same thing happened. It took years and years. The guy never built the apartment complex on it, and he sold the property, and it reverted back to exactly what it was. So that would be my motion, is to approve it conditionally, special use, that it's only for him, or only for his business, with the 100-foot servitude around the residential property. If he ever sells it, it reverts back to C3.
The only issue I have with that is, and I've had this discussion with a few people as well, is if he decides to sell this property. I mean, I do believe Mr. Albin's good on his word. I do, and I've seen what he's done with his business, and we applaud you, and we want to keep you in the city of Denham Springs. But if he were to sell that property, if he were to sell his business, that property goes with that business. So what the next person decides to do, we'll be fighting that. I'm not sure what, from permitting or from a legal standpoint, that business, if that property goes with that business, then it is up to what the new owner wants to do. So to me, it's taking a chance.
So would you like to, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping in, would you be comfortable if it was the business, but you said, but with the servitude only used as a lay down yard?
Well, I think lay down yard's kind of a outdoor storage is actually, if you look at many of the ordinances that have been changed, it's outdoor storage. Outdoor storage is in line with your, lay down yard, you're looking like piping and, anyway, there's.
But no, I'm saying, because that way, even if it got sold, if that person came in, they could, and say they're like, oh, we're going devil's advocate, we're gonna buy it, we'll keep the business name, now we still own it, special use would still apply, but if they put also at the condition, it could only be used as a laydown yard? Because then they couldn't build on it, I'm trying to.
Because if he sold the business, he'd be selling everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. On that piece of property.
I meant that if he sold the piece of property.
Yeah.
You want to talk about planning and zoning?
Well, you have a point of order, you have a motion on the floor that's duly been seconded.
Right.
Yeah, but I can make an alternate motion before that one.
Shouldn't you have to vote on the first motion?
You
It's
will
already been on the
eventually.
We
floor.
will eventually.
You will eventually, when they get ready to vote on the motion, they'll have to vote on the motion, on Mr. Gilbert's motion first.
Right.
If that fails, then they'll vote on Ms. Landon's.
An alternate motion or an amendment is a privileged motion. It would come in order, right? Yeah, so we're not inappropriate doing
Before they made a motion.
what we're doing. According to Robert's Rules of Order, we're not out of order right
No, you
now.
can discuss it and say,
Vote on the first one and then.
That's right.
we have to vote.
Well, no, if she makes an amendment,
I should be able to have my motion.
that has to be voted on first. An amendment is privileged.
The special use permit that you're speaking of, my understanding, sitting on the commission, is that is for something that does not fit into any other zoning category. Am I correct, Rick?
I really gotta take a deeper look at this. I
I
can't.
think that was my understanding. If you have something, when we voted on the baseball stadium, we didn't have a zoning category for the baseball stadium. So we got a special use permit. My understanding is a special use permit is for something that doesn't fit into any other category. A laydown yard fits into an industrial category.
Could I ask you to consider a noise variance, for instance? That is taking an absolute restriction on noise levels and completely removing it. So during the time of that noise variance, they cannot be ticketed no matter how loud they go. It's a complete abdication of the intended use under the noise ordinance. That's what we're talking about considering
It has
here.
a beginning and an end.
And it has a beginning and an end.
You do a noise variance for the Mexican restaurants for Cinco de Mayo. And there's a beginning and an end to that. You know, it's not an absolute. It doesn't say from here on out, amen, you can make that.
Yeah, but I don't think that's
But
a
that's what we're saying.
stipulation of the ability to exercise that option anywhere in state law. If we do that with a time, an expiration date, but I don't think you're required to do that. We cannot address that tonight anyway. We can't, because it's outside, it would be in violation of open bid laws, of open meeting laws.
Right.
I am just not comfortable with setting a precedent for applying an industrial classification to that particular piece of property, no matter what the stipulations are.
Well, and I hate that there's only like one or two things in his whole list that make him be industrial versus be totally fine in C3.
And so when I first spoke, I said, assuming that it's okay with the folks that are here in opposition. If it's appropriate, Mayor, I would be curious to know if there was a stipulation that it would be used as a laydown yard by this organization, which has been a very strong contributor to our community for a long time. And that's not the point. The point is, if it was stipulated that it was used only as a laydown yard, only by this organization, Would you be okay with that?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. Because that's important,
Yeah.
that matters. What if there was no access to River Road,
You're
ever
going
used?
from, going away from the I-1 industrial and making a spot for this particular business. Sounds like it to me. Y'all going away with the ordinance where, we don't want it at all whatsoever in there. But y'all sound like y'all want to make a special, I don't know, situation where it's okay for them to come in there.
We're absolutely trying to find common ground where it works for both. And if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. We understand that.
What's gonna happen if they, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sir, go ahead.
What's gonna happen if they decide, drag up and what's gonna happen to the property then?
Yeah, so the stipulation is, it goes back to exactly what it is right now.
Or it could go something else to another lay down in the yard, right?
No, it goes back to exactly what it is right now,
C3.
Yeah.
before we made any alteration.
Well,
We've done that.
I oppose it completely.
Okay. I appreciate your
Yeah.
clarity on that. That does matter.
I
So thank you
think
for
it
that.
might open up a door for something else to happen.
If you would like, I can read regarding special principal uses, which is a special use permit, 2 sections out of there. I'll be brief. This is out of Appendix B, which are our zoning regulations, section 15.01. The purpose and intent. It is recognized that certain principal uses of land, although generally compatible with the basic use classification of a particular zoning district, should not be permitted generally and as a matter of right to be located in every area included within the zoning district because of hazards inherent with the use itself or special problems which its proposed location may present. Such a use of a particular site may nevertheless be specially permitted by means of a special use permit granted by the Board of Aldermen after the procedures set forth in this ordinance have been complied with, and the Board of Aldermen, on the basis of the guidelines and criteria set forth in this section, has determined that the facts and circumstances of the particular case warrant granting the permit. The permit shall be granted solely for the proposed use of a particular site, not for a particular person or firm. Now, real quick, section 15.02, general criteria. In determining whether to grant a special use permit for the proposed use of a particular site, the zoning commission and the Board of Aldermen shall consider the factual findings, conclusions, and recommendations of the zoning commission as contained in its report, and both shall consider the effect of the proposed use upon the health, safety, convenience, and general welfare of the owners and occupants of surrounding land in particular, and the community as a whole in general, including but not limited to the following factors: existing and anticipated traffic and parking conditions, noise, glare, odors, vibration, smoke, dust, air pollution, heat, liquid or solid waste, and other nuisance characteristics, drainage, population density, visual land use, compatibility with uses of and structures on surrounding land, adjoining land values, and the orderly development of the neighborhood and the city within the general purpose and intent of this ordinance. That's a special use permit. That's the intent of what those are for. So to go into the special use permit, you would still have to alter the ordinance to allow for that land use to have the ability to have a special use permit built into it. So it would still have to go through, and I could be wrong, I don't want to speak for the city attorney.
You're correct. You're correct, and just the mention in there, it does in 15.02, 15.01, the last sentence is, the permit shall be granted solely for the proposed use of a particular site, not for a particular person or firm.
Then
So
how
like
did
I
we
said-
get away with the land behind Demco? That's exactly what we did behind Demco.
So
I was
if you,
not here then.
and if you take a look at it, it was approved
Not responsible
as a C3. It was approved as that. Whatever it was allowed to, not C3 or R4, whatever it was allowed to be that, it was allowed to be that. And then it had to get changed back. It was allowed to, I don't know if it was actually
But it was-
recorded in there, and
But
I
they
haven't
didn't.
dug back deep into it. I could certainly
It was
do
tied
that.
to the owner though, right? The stipulation was that we revert back to
The
today's
special use
condition if
permit,
it's sold.
and for that purpose, I believe you're allowed to have a special use permit.
Okay. And that's the weak link here, is that that's not
Yes.
considered an option in this case.
Not
Because
yet.
you can't go from industrial
All
to.
right. Okay, any more discussion?
Now, again, I don't think it should take more than 6 months. I really believe we can come to a quicker resolution than that, but I don't think that a commercial business who wants to use a piece of property is zoned commercial to store equipment and, that is in line with commercial use. I just don't see that being a big change. I think that's something we can do.
Other than utility lighting, there's probably no lighting even required, there's no power even required on that property for your use, is there?
I'm sure maybe.
If he needs power, he has a generator too, probably.
I'm sure might want some security.
And also, again, tonight is about rezoning the property, and for me, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, so Stephanie,
My
we
second
couldn't,
thing.
are we saying that we couldn't have the,
I didn't understand the weak
I-
link.
yeah, what do we, so we cannot, Lori can't have her amended, like that motion wouldn't be, we couldn't do a special use permit this way? Or the how Lori's got it proposed, is that what
I
you're saying?
think just because of what this says.
Yeah, that's what I'm
We're
asking.
bound by this.
Well, no, I mean,
Right.
it's something,
This is what the agenda item is.
Right, you'd have to deny it tonight and bring it back as granting a special use permit.
yeah.
Right,
Okay.
Rick?
Is that right?
I'm sorry?
So repeat what you said about the special use permit. This would have to be rezoned industrial with a special use
Permit.
permit.
No, you would have to actually in C3 go in under land use. You would have to add this land use as a special use permit only.
Yes.
You'd have to add that as an
And leave the
option.
property
If you
secret.
look at our current table, it will tell you
Right.
this is what can be granted a
Mhm.
special use permit. So it's kind of like a,
So essentially, he could have left it C3 and just came in and asked for C3 with a special use permit instead of changing
If our
rezoning.
if our
Wait,
ordinance
right.
allowed a laydown yard to go into a C3 with
Okay.
a special
Yes.
use.
With a
permit.
special use,
So
okay.
if you look
If
at
it
the
says that's on
table,
Yeah.
here,
Yeah,
it's right here.
that's
the
what-
one
yeah.
if you
you
look
need,
at the
right.
table, the table will say this can go in C3, or this can go in C3 with a special use permit.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, the table says this goes in industrial. So we would have to, if you wanted this to be C3 with a special use permit, we would have to go back in and amend the code to have that special use permit ability for a laydown.
Okay, but that's not what my motion was. My motion was to rezone it I-1 with the stipulation that it's a special use for this particular use.
And if that's an alternate motion, then we have to open the floor for an opportunity for a second. And if there's a second, then we have to vote on it. No second, and then it reverts back to the
Correct.
original motion.
One more comment.
And we,
My question is why all of a sudden is this piece of property so important to have an I-1? That's my question. I don't understand why, what piece of equipment deems this ordinance to be so stiff about I-1? That's my question. So Rick, do you have an answer?
Well, y'all have about another half hour.
I mean, is it-
Oh, no, absolutely, no.
Is it the excavators, is it the bulldozers? The reason I'm
The
asking.
guardrails.
The reason I'm asking is the city lot in Denham Springs that is owned by the city has all the same equipment as the C3. That's the same question I'm asking. The city of Denham Springs has the same equipment on the same piece of property, the same zone. Why can't a business owner?
That just seems to me to be, that's reason to move forward with the idea of revamping our C3 to allow you to be able to use
I
it.
totally agree.
Absolutely.
The I-1, like I said, I don't want these people to not like me. I didn't want this. The only reason I asked for this was because we were told we had to, but I don't understand what defines an I-1 just for this piece of property when there's a bunch of places in town that they need the equipment. I mean, we're talking about excavator.
Sure.
I mean, Dr. Hood has a skid steer on his property, right next to my property. I mean, I go over there beating on people's doors saying, hey, you can't have that. It is what it is. I mean, it's no big deal. My whole question is all of a sudden it just seems like this piece of property is a red flag.
Yeah.
For it's C3, it should be granted just like everybody else in town that has a piece of metal laying on the ground or a mini excavator or a skid steer.
We're debating a rezoning that nobody wants.
Right, exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's my whole point. That was.
But wait, I feel like I need to clarify this. You want this to happen, right? And you want this to be allowed, you just don't want it to have to follow city code.
Well,
I'm not even sure what he's saying, I can't,
I think the question is.
I think I understand him, believe it or
The
not.
question is what equipment does this company have that is allowed in C3? And what equipment does this company want to put there that's saying, no, that's not allowed? That's the $1 million question.
Is it just the word laid
I can
out?
do my very best. I can do my very best.
Like it's not listed for me.
So what we're looking at is, it's 127 under the land use chart, which is called a contractor's office and storage yard. You actually dig back into, under or I beg your pardon, I-1, and it'll tell you what the SIC number is. The SIC is a standard industrial code, kind of what it references. And it goes back to contractors and the materials and the equipment that they store on their site. So that's what I have to go by. I don't have a definition. I go by everything that I've got. So we sat there and we talked about it. The gentleman came into my office. We sat there and discussed kind of the matter, what the issue was. And I told him, I said, so you're just going to park some trucks over there and some trailers? He said, yes. I said, well, I need to know exactly what it is that you're going to park on the property. What's going on the property? So that in the event that someone comes over and says, well, he's doing X, Y, and Z, I can go back to your sheet. This is what you're saying. X, Y, and Z is supposed to be over there. And I have something to go off of. I need something. I mean, if I'm going to say that, oh, you know what, you're right, it's a C3. It's a C3 use in a C3 zone. So that afternoon, Mr. Alvin sent me an email, what they're planning on parking over there. Trucks, trailers, excavators, skid steers, miscellaneous construction equipment, guardrail and guardrail materials, permanent signs, sign materials, miscellaneous construction materials needed to install signs and guardrails. Construction, contractor storage, contractor equipment. All of those things go together, do they not? Then I went so far as to ask, why is it that we have to have it like this? Because it was a good question. Why would a contractor's office and storage yard be zoned industrial? I asked the most brilliant mind on earth, which looks to be AI right now. A contractor's office and storage yard is typically zoned industrial because the activities involved, storing heavy equipment, materials, and fleet vehicles, often create noise, dust, traffic, and aesthetic impacts that are incompatible with residential and commercial areas. So I went back through, I double checked all of the SIC codes compared to what he had. He's selling equipment, he's selling guardrail, and looked at the guardrail, that is heavy duty industrial stuff as well. I get that he's not building it. I understand he's not fabricating it, he's just storing it. I understand, but I have to go off of what is submitted to me and do my very best with that. What would a company, or why would a company that leases equipment and signs for highway construction and guardrail materials be zoned industrial? A company that leases highway construction equipment, signs, and guardrail materials is typically zoned industrial because its operations involve activities that are generally incompatible with retail or residential areas, such as significant outdoor storage, heavy truck traffic, and noise. These businesses function primarily as contractor yards or heavy equipment storage and distribution centers. Keeping in mind that it's not Cajun contractors. It is not these guys that have these huge cranes and these other things. I fully get it. And that's one of those things to consider should this go into the category of special use permit under a C3. So then I went so far as to say, okay, let me look at the other side of this coin. Why would a company that leases equipment and signs for highway construction and guardrail materials be zoned commercial? A company that leases highway construction equipment, traffic signs, and guardrails might be zoned commercial, specifically under heavy commercial or highway service classifications, due to its function as a high-traffic service provider, its need for logistical accessibility, and its role as a B2B service supplier rather than a manufacturer. So there certainly is validity in considering it to go into commercial.
According to Elon Musk, anyway.
Somebody's brain, correct. So could it be? Yes. I think that it would possibly fit in there. I'm not a planner. I don't have those letters after my name. that is somebody that, could I assist with that? Sure, but I hate to see this get this far. I hate to see it in this situation, as heated as what it is, when it could potentially be brought down and handled in a different manner.
With everybody satisfied.
But I am only able to go off of, I'm a regulator, I am not a legislator, that's y'all. So you have to make that decision and tell me what to regulate.
You are very knowledgeable about all of the inner workings of this whole thing. I wish we could just sit down over a cup of coffee, just you and me, and you tell me I-1 or C3, which one?
But what in particular is making it I-1 is the question.
Right.
Is your whole property on Tower Drive I-1? So basically, everything that you have over there, you just need a little extra spot to put the
Yes.
same stuff over here.
It's in line with the
That's
commercial
what I don't
business.
understand.
So
It's in line with the commercial business, I keep saying
Then you
that.
get in, ma'am, you get into scope creep. It's C2. What he's got over there is not really fitting.
I'm talking Tower Drive.
Oh, okay, Tower Drive is C3. Some of it's C3, some of it is C2. It's a little bit in excess of what would be allowed in there, based on the information that I have in my table. You take a look at the table, you tell me, and that information that's there, and that's what I'm seeing. Have I ever gone over there and said, no, you're getting, no, I haven't.
Well, no, because he's been there since 1984.
It's slowly gotten correct, but at the time, it used to be just a shop. It was a sign shop, and he sold traffic control products. I bought a lot of stuff from over there. And then it's slowly gotten larger. The business, the American dream has happened to this thing. It just blew up and has gone crazy. He's doing superbly well.
But there was a point in time when he sent that email that he came in and talked to you and said, this is what I want to put down. You said, I think it'll work in C3.
I
Then
did
when
not
you
know,
sent the email.
when we converse, that's right.
Right,
I need
and
to
then
know
when you sent the
exactly what
email
we're
with a
going to do.
list of it, then something changed that made it need to be in I-1. And I think that's just the question, what is it? Because, I'm just gonna throw it out there, if it was guardrails, that kind of construction material makes it industrial, then he could say, okay, I'm not gonna put any guardrails over there.
I'm gonna keep them on the other
I'm gonna
side.
keep them on the other side, and then that would allow me to be in C3 without having to go through any of this.
But it's more than just guardrails. right?
I'm just throwing that out there as an example,
Yeah.
because I don't know what that one or two things are.
Maybe you could go through it with us and help me with that and understand it. I'll be very pleased with that. I don't like being in a spot either, I promise you. I don't.
I don't disagree, I just don't understand.
Both properties are C3, so the
C3,
requirement
C2.
is gonna be the same. Well, no, I think that one of the corners C2. His property on Tower Drive, his main property is C3, right?
On the back side, I think of the very end of the cul-de-sac, I believe it is, I think it is C2. I'll take a look real quick.
Okay.
And I can give you that answer.
But the main thing is South Woodcrest was right behind him. All those people over here has never had a complaint.
Connie Drive.
I'm talking about South Woodcrest was right beside.
Oh, no, Connie Drive. we got
Connie
complaints.
Drive.
Connie, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Connie, we have got complaints, yes, sir, absolutely.
Rick, if it wasn't used for this purpose, what other uses are there in C3? So would you just talk about a couple of those uses? So if you didn't sell it and it wasn't used in this, for this purpose, what other things could
Agriculture,
sell
implement
it?
sales and service, machinery sales and equipment sales and service, lumber yard. There's a lot of stuff in here. Mini warehouses, which you have to build it up.
Yeah.
It would cause a lot of watershed issues.
A lot of things.
So, I mean,
It
just,
could go that way now, is what he's saying.
that's just another
Right.
thing that we have to consider is
Exactly.
if that yard, which is basically static, I mean, it's just things that stay there until he pulls them out versus a lumber yard where you're gonna have traffic in and out of there, it's gonna be built up higher. You'll have a lot of noise, a lot of things. I'm just thinking, is this a better use for that than a lumber yard or some of these other things that he could sell to go there? What would you prefer? I mean, I guess is what I'm asking. Something that we maybe have a little control over versus something we'd have no, because if something goes there that fits in C3, We don't get we have no say. You have
Right.
no say.
He doesn't even come to the council, it's just a permit.
Right. Right.
The permit is
I
done,
think I
so.
would prefer a lumberyard over a concrete mill in my backyard though.
Over what?
A concrete mill. A concrete manufacturing plant to go there.
It's not, yeah, it's not gonna be
Right.
that.
I would prefer there to be.
C3 zone.
No,
Right, the concrete plant couldn't go in there.
Yeah, we don't want that either.
It can't go in a
They're
C.
gonna make it, zone it, and let him go there, just like our constitutional rights, they're all being chipped at a little bit at a time, and it's doing exactly that. You give them a little, they take them out. You take it with the Second Amendment, you say, oh, you can't have these guns, you can't have these guns, they pass this little law, and next thing you know, you got that. And then they keep chipping, and they keep chipping, and sooner or later, it's gone, and you lost it. You need to fight now. Don't let these people do what they wanna do if it's gonna take your life and make your life miserable or mess with you, make your neighbors like that. You gotta stand up for what we want. The people who've been living in that neighborhood their entire lives, what you're gonna do is set a precedent. Well, we did it here before, so we can do it again. Just a little bit more tweaking, and next thing you know, boom, it's done. You know, we like our rights. Our country rights in this country being chipped away at every day, and if we don't if we don't stand up for each other and stop it, it's just gonna continue. And right now, it's that, a plant, basically.
Okay.
It's gonna go in our backyard, and there's so many other places he could put that, and so many other things that could go there that would be nicer. How about a park? There's no park there.
Okay, so we can't go on, we can't discuss this all night with what ifs. We gotta move on.
Nobody's brought up, what about the wildlife? It's not uncommon to have deer in my backyard, that ends.
The public hearing,
You know,
I think
it is what it is.
Yes, yeah.
public hearing is closed. Okay.
Box turtles.
All right, so
they're gone.
any other discussion from the council before we take a vote?
So there is a secondary motion that hasn't been addressed yet.
There's a precedent that has been set for this, my motion stands.
Okay.
Could you please repeat, your motion?
Special use permit for traffic control products only with a 100-foot servitude around the residential, and it is in place until he sells the property. When he sells the property, it reverts back to C3.
A buffer or a servitude? A buffer.
Yes,
This is rezoning the property condition.
To an I, yes, conditionally.
With what is it called, untouched, untouched buffer? That's what we're saying, like Rick said it was, I forgot how he
There's a buffer
stated.
requirement in the landscape ordinance.
No, but
In our
instead of
current
doing
code.
that, we could say that it could be a untouched buffer, so it could stay like wooded as it is now.
Correct.
And not have it, because if we just say 100 foot, then he's gonna have to come in and put bushes, and it actually would be more clear, like cleared out, that's what I'm saying. I'd rather have
it
it,
is now.
yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I mean, there's a lot going with this. I really am not comfortable doing industrial, going from that, but I do see what Jeff is saying. If they come in at C3, we will have no control over it. That land will be built up to flood, elevation. Right now, I kind of feel like this is something that we have the best ability to control, and then our legal ability can control people's property. I don't see why, if we do this, why we still wouldn't look at our zoning.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, but, what are the complaints that come out of Connie Drive? What are the complaints that come off of Connie Drive? Just having the business there, lights, what is it?
Fence,
Dust.
Fence dust.
the equipment, yeah.
All right, we have a motion. Do I have a second? No second?
No.
Motion fails.
Jeff. I'll second, Jeff, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
I
gonna
didn't speak
second,
up,
okay.
so, sorry, yes, I will.
Second by Dugas. Call the roll, please.
Dugas?
Yes.
Gilbert?
No.
Lamb Williams?
Yes.
Poole?
No.
Wesley?
No.
Motion passed.
Okay, so the next motion is to approve an ordinance to amend section 1.02, Article 1 of Denham Springs zoning Commission Ordinance 1001 by adding thereto paragraph 201.
No, we are doing deny.
Yeah.
We still have.
Oh,
We
I'm
have-
sorry, that's right
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Jim's and Roberts.
Will be the same, basically.
So still on item number 4, Gilbert's motion to deny was full second.
So yes vote is a deny.
Yes.
We'll clarify that.
Dugas,
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Lamb Williams,
No.
Wesley.
Yes. So we're denying the motion to, we're denying changing it to I-1.
So I'm gonna ask a question before you move on. Who is going to spearhead the committee to work on the ordinance change?
I will.
Okay. You're gonna get with Rick, because we're gonna have planning and
Yes.
zoning on it.
Yes.
All right.
And it would be nice to fast track it as well. I know you know that, but
Yeah, oh,
let's not make it 4 months.
how would you like to help me with that?
I will do my best.
All right. Mr. Gilbert, Mr. Poole will be on that committee, along with planning, with Rick Foster and our legal counsel. Okay.
And zoning.
Yeah.
And zoning, I'm sorry.
I was just fixing that.
Anyone else? Okay. All right. So for all of you that were here for this public
Okay.
hearing, if you don't want to stay for everything else that's coming up, other public hearings and other business, you're more than welcome to leave now.
Let me ask you one question though. Can y'all kind of clarify what just went on now?
It did not change to I-1, it stays as it is.
But now there's a committee to redo the
Stays
zoning.
commercial until y'all maybe do a little tweaking where I can, this company can go to C1. That way they can live in there.
I think
RC3.
Not gonna rezone the property.
we're setting setting a committee up to review these ordinances to determine what changes, if any, need to be made.
The rezone, we deny.
Yeah, rezone is done.
We're gonna revisit, we're gonna visit the ordinances, and I agree it needs to be fast tracked, and I'm good.
Y'all supposed to notify, get back with y'all?
It'll be listed on the agenda.
What's that?
It'll be listed on the agenda, and the agenda will be published, but there will be no, signs put in the yard or anything like that.
Because it won't be
As there was
getting
before,
rezoned.
because it's not a rezoning.
So how will we know when to come back?
You'll have to watch the agenda.
Watch the agendas.
It's also in the paper, right, advertised?
Not the agenda. The agenda is.
No, but this is, we're talking about going through and actually redoing the
Oh,
zone.
yes,
The actual
whenever you do
ordinance.
whenever the proposed ordinance is, then it'll be advertised in the paper, what the ordinance is being proposed for, correctly.
What if you don't get the paper?
You can look on Facebook, follow our Facebook page, and it'll tell you. Don't we have it on there? Our website?
We have a website.
Yeah, our website, it's on our website.
It's
And
on
it
the,
tells you
there's a
our meetings.
website, it's on the Facebook, and it's also posted outside of City Hall in the glass window.
Mhm.
So,
So y'all have the idea when this happens?
The committee will have to meet, they'll have to discuss, and that could take a while. I can't give you a time when I honestly don't
I like to
know.
be informed, because
Okay.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Right decision.
All right, item 5, hold a public hearing for an ordinance to amend section 1.02 of Article 1 of the Denham Springs Zoning Commission Ordinance of 1990 as amended, City Ordinance 1001, by adding thereto paragraph 202 from C4 commercial to R3 residential, located at section 58 T6S R2E GLD, City of Denham Springs, Livingston Parish, Louisiana, RZ 461, requested by Knighton Investments at 535 River Road Avenue. This is Railroad Avenue. And there are 2 lots we're going to be talking about. This is lot 17. This is the first lot. So, the public hearing is open, and
Good evening, I'm Sean Hyman with Alvin Fairburn and Associates, here on behalf of Mr. Knight, the developer. As you stated, so for this item, there's 2 lots that are adjacent to each other that face Railroad Avenue. It's items 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 on the agenda are in regards to those 2 lots. For each of these lots, it's lot 17 and 18. As you stated, we're requesting to rezone it from C4 to R3. So the developer
these two lots front, the railroad tracks there, they're pretty small lots. And, we would like to put a duplex on each of the lots. In order to do that, the first step, we've got to rezone it, and then the second step would be the variances, which are also agenda items to follow. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for the council? Anyone else to speak for this?
Motion to close the public hearing?
I got it, hang on. Anybody to speak against this? All right.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Motion by Lamb Williams to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Gilbert. Call roll, please.
Dugas?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams?
Yes.
Poole?
Yes.
Wesley?
Yes. Item 6, approve an ordinance to amend section 1.02 of Article 1 of the Denham Springs Zoning Commission Ordinance of 1990 as amended City Ordinance 1001 by adding thereto paragraph 202 from C4 Commercial to R3 Residential located in section 58 T6S R2E GLD City of Denham Springs, Livingston Parish, Louisiana, RZ 461, requested by Knighton Investments, 535 Railroad Avenue. You have a motion.
I know I think we tired out Bill, he left, but, so where did planning and zoning weigh in on this?
It was unanimous to rezone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's currently C4. I don't want to beat this one to death, but this is kind of the beginning of a few of them as we go down the road. C4 all the way along the railroad. And historically for Mr. McKnight, he built another house in that area that we rezoned back to a R1 for that purpose.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Lamb Williams.
Second.
Second by Dugas.
Dugas?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams?
Yes.
Poole?
Yes.
Wesley?
Yes. All right, item 7, approve a variance request from Knighton Investments for lot 17, square 11, parcel 345-835-108 River Road, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726. Sean, you need to speak to that?
Well, as I stated, these are existing lots. They're very small lots. I'm not sure if I would call them desirable per se as they exist currently for a single family residence, just in its location to the railroad tracks. Like I said, it's really small. We feel like the best use is to do a duplex on it. It's still gonna be a tight fit, and the only way to meet all the city requirements are to get approval for those variances.
Rick, do you have any comment?
I agree with everything that he said. Simply, on I think page 15, you have I would not feel comfortable if I didn't at least bring this up. I agree with what's going on with it, with the proposed use. I think it's a great use for there. You've already got apartments in there as well. You have one that was zoned correctly already, and it's under construction right there, and you can see the caliber of the construction, so that's what's going to be in the next two adjoining. The variances, that's the only thing, and there are variances on the width, the depth, the lot area, and the dwelling unit, per dwelling unit, but I still feel this is the best use for this property.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
What did planning and zoning put in on it? They were okay with all, they unanimously?
Correct, it was unanimous on this. Yes, ma'am.
All right, need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Gilbert,
Second.
second by Lamb Williams.
Dugas?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams?
Yes.
Poole?
Yes.
Wesley?
Yes. All right, item 8. Hold public hearing for an ordinance to amend section 1.02 of Article 1 of the Denham Springs Zoning Commission Ordinance of 1990 as amended, City Ordinance 1001 by adding thereto paragraph 203 from C4 Commercial to R3 Residential located in section 58 T6S R2E LGLD City of Denham Springs, Livingston Parish, Louisiana, RZ 462, requested by Knighton Investments, 509 Railroad Avenue. The public hearing is open. Anybody to speak for? Same
comments.
Anybody to speak against? Need a motion to close? Motion closed by Lamb Williams.
Second.
Second by Gilbert.
Dugas?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Lamb Williams?
Yes.
Poole?
Yes.
Wesley?
Yes. Item 9, approve an ordinance to amend section 102 of Article 1 of Denham Springs Zoning Commission Ordinance of 1990 as amended, City Ordinance 1001 by adding thereto paragraph 203 from C4 Commercial to R3 Residential located in section 58, T6S R2E GLD, City of Denham Springs, Parish, Louisiana, RZ 462, requested by Knighton Investments, 509 Railroad Avenue.
Motion approved.
Motion by Lamb Williams. Second by Dugas. Call for the vote.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Yes. Poole.
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. Item 10, approve a variance request from Knighton Investments for lot 18, square 11, parcel 345-835, 108 River Road, Denham Springs, Louisiana, 70726.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Dugas.
Second.
Second by Gilbert. Call for the vote.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 11, call a public hearing for an ordinance amending chapter 74, section 32 of the Code of Ordinances relative to overtime. Stephanie, would you like to address that?
Yes, sir. So this is just adding one sentence to our current ordinance. It addressed how to pay regular overtime and overtime that was utilizing grant money. When the opioid settlement came in and gave the police officers the ability to access settlement funds to do opioid education, it was kind of a unique situation where it's not grant money and it's not regular overtime. So there was no mechanism by which Michelle could authorize payment under the budget. So we just need to add this sentence to cover that special circumstance.
Motion to approve.
Wait,
Wait,
this
I
is
got
public
this public
hearing.
hearing, so I have to.
Yeah, I should
Yeah.
also say there's a new policy that accompanies
Right.
that talks about an internal policy that talks about how we apply for these things and making sure that there's a mechanism to pay and all of that is approved. So it's kind of a two-part thing, but this is the only part that needs your approval.
Anyone else to speak for or against this? Need a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Lamb Williams.
Second.
Second by Gilbert.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. Item 12, approve an
I'm saying, yeah. Just write it down.
approve an ordinance amending chapter 74, section 32 of the Code of Ordinances relative to overtime. A motion by Gilbert,
Second.
second by Lamb Williams.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. Item 13, approve the surplus of Unit 503. It's a 2009 Ford F-150 Super Cab. VIN number is 1FTRX12W29FA31352. This is from the fleet, and Andy is requesting it be surplus.
Motion approved.
Motion by Dugas.
Second.
Second by Gilbert.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole.
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. Item 14, approve renewal of the utility billing services agreement with Cetus Direct Incorporated for an additional one-year term effective August 1st, 2026 through July 31st, 2027.
Motion approved.
Motion by Dugas.
I am going to vote against this as a matter of principle. I have grave concerns about the timing of their distribution of their bills and their late notices. They often cross in the mail, and I don't know that that's specifically them. It may be something related to our office, but it's the post or the post office. But in any case, it's unacceptable to me that somebody gets a late notice the day of their cutoff notice. And that happens often. It's happened to me, and I've had several people call and complain about it. So just as a protest vote and a matter of principle, I'm going to vote against this. And I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if y'all have any
No, I've had the
experience with
same, I've had complaints, same, I mean, I have, but I really do believe it's post office, because when I look at the date, yeah, the postmark, it shouldn't take 2 weeks.
What's the solution,
To me.
Michelle?
It happens all the time. You wouldn't
Yeah.
know this because you don't handle it.
Oh, yeah.
Under the bus I go.
This is is
Yeah.
becoming a Jerry
Yeah.
Springer.
Yeah, I think it's I really hate to say it, and I don't, but I really think it's a post office.
Wesley.
Michelle's, I understand, they basically just, if there's a problem with the formatting, they basically fix that, is that basically
We
what they
send
do?
over the bills, they print them and they mail them.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Out of California or New Mexico or something, they seem to be postmarked on the West Coast, if I remember correctly.
Remember where they're located.
Okay. All right, so I forgot what I was
Yes,
doing.
ma'am.
Call
We
for
have
a
a
vote.
motion.
Hold on.
We have a motion by Dugas, I need a second.
Oh, we don't have a copy.
I'll second it. Can I second it?
You can.
I can, I am. Call for the vote.
Dugas,
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole,
No.
Wesley.
Yes. Number 15, authorize Mayor Gerard Landry to enter into a 24-month agreement with AT&T to replace the police department's current internet service with AT&T AIA Wireless due to AT&T decommissioning copper services nationwide beginning in June 2026.
Went
Anybody
down
say
by,
anything about that?
went down by $20.
I was asked briefly about
this, or my secretary was, from our IT guy, Steve Russell.
Mhm.
And, the last I talked to him about this, the last we heard was that we and Steve didn't think wireless would work in our office, apparently AT&T's got away. Because we don't have a choice, it doesn't sound like.
Yeah, that's what I say, it looks like we don't have a choice.
They wireless or nothing.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
They've been moving this way for quite a while. They don't want to fool with hardline anymore.
Well, that's why we can't get, when they hit the pole, the box.
They're not
and all that
maintaining the hard
information,
wires, they're a
get 'em
constant issue.
paper.
Yeah. Okay, you got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Gilbert. Second by Lynn Williams.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. Item 16, introduce an ordinance and authorize a public hearing for an ordinance amending a consolidated operating budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026 to be held June 22nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the courtroom of the municipal building at 116 North Range Avenue. Just, that's not next meeting, it is the following meeting.
Motion introduced.
Motion by Lynn Williams,
Second.
second by Gilbert.
Dugas. Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. Item 17, introduce an ordinance and authorize a public hearing for an ordinance adopting consolidated operating budget and revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2027 to be held June 22nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the courtroom of the municipal building at 116 Range Avenue, Denham Springs, Louisiana.
Motion approved.
Motion Dugas,
Second.
second by Gilbert.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. Item 18, discuss status and draft review of 2026 Livingston Parish Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Watch me make this as quick as possible. I'm sorry to be the one to keep y'all dragging around. Livingston Parish Hazard Mitigation Plan, it's multi-jurisdictional, it is all the jurisdictions within the parish. It's that time of year to renew, right? 2021 was when we adopted the last one. The only way, so in here, what I put in were some of the most pertinent, most, or least uninteresting, I guess, documents that you would have in there. Kind of the different hazard identifications, what we did. You see the timeline of how we've gone. We started in July of 2025 last year. So it's almost been a year of attending meetings, of updating worksheets, of all of these things. Why do we have to have this? Well, number one, it's a plan, but number two, to spend FEMA money, to spend any kind of federal grant money that comes down the pipes, we gotta have, it's gotta be in our book. So we have to try and identify everything. Plus, as our participation in here, we did a boatload of credit for our CRS. I mean, this is almost worth an entire point. So we've gone through, we have all agreed that the plan works for us. We're finished with our public meetings. It is going through to be rewritten now. There's a 2-week public input, and then at the end of that 2 weeks, then we can bring it up for resolution. So I think June 5th is the end of the 2-week period. June 9th is when we have our next city council meeting, and I'll be bringing the resolution to adopt that.
Okay.
And if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to call me. I'll bore you to death with it.
Great, thank you. No, there's no action by the council needed on that.
No action.
Number 19, don't sit down too far. Discuss and take appropriate action, approving a contract with Forerunner for floodplain management and mapping software, which I know you need.
Oh, absolutely. We approved this last year. It went through, Forerunner has been phenomenal. We did the things that we could do with that. All we take is, we take an elevation certificate and we just plug it in and it spits it out with any problems that were on there. There's a customer portal that is available on our website. People can just go in, they can pull it up. If we have an ECO on file, it's already logged on their property. Potential investors that want to know, well, what about a property here? They can take a look. It's similar to the LSU flood maps that they have. Those flood maps are no longer being funded. So I can't imagine they're going to be, they're a useful tool. Everybody utilizes them all day long, but we're now kind of moving to our own. We see and appreciate what they can do for us. This is Forerunner for us. It's a 3-year contract. We could go yearly. We did add, per Michelle's suggestion, a clause that states if we're dissatisfied with their service that we can opt out. They gave us that. And of course, we would be prorated whatever that money coming back in. So we do have an out on it. The 3 years saves us many thousands, which earned the kudos from our city treasurer.
She's something.
Motion to approve.
I need a motion.
Motion.
I do, guys. Second.
Second, and by Gilbert. Call for vote.
Dugas, Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. Number 20, discuss and take appropriate action approving a contract for assistance with NFIP and CRS ratings.
In the meetings that we had, the budget meetings, I discussed this as well as item number 21. They are a do not exceed or not to exceed, right, an NTE. This particular one, NFIP and CRS ratings, this is with quality engineering. Jeanette will be assisting us with going in and taking our substantial damage, our rep loss list, repetitive loss, severe repetitive loss, cleaning that stuff up. It's labor. It's all labor. It's going through and finding if this address is, this isn't in the city, so we have to fill out what's called a AWC 504 sheet for each and every address. Our rep loss is over 270 properties. Of those 270, there's got to be 30 to possibly 40% that can be taken off. They've been demolished, they've been elevated, whatever it is, they've been mitigated. But this is what that's for. It just takes that workload off of us and makes sure that it happens.
And when that happens, then our rating, is it beneficial to our rating?
We maintain. Yeah, we're at a 7. To get to a 6, which of course would make a lot of people happy, that'd be instead of 15% off of a full rated insurance policy, it would be 20%. We have to do what's called a BSEG. BSEG it's a rating similar to the, is it the PAR that the fire department goes through?
I think so.
The PIO. It's very similar to what the PIO is. So it's similar in that we would actually get credit for it. I have to have a BSEG to move up to a 6. But this keeps us in the running for that. May very well be down the pipe.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Gilbert. Second by Lamb Williams.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams.
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes. 21, discuss and take appropriate action approving a contract with Environmental Science Services Incorporated for GIS mapping assistance.
So GIS mapping, this is something we are into every single day. We have our zoning map in here. We have floodplain management. We have actually a CRS page that we can go to that shows the Amy River Basin Commission's website, where you can click on a property and it shows you how much water it received in 2016. It's these kinds of tools that we utilize regularly. When somebody calls up and for whatever reason FEMA didn't happen to get that substantial damage estimate whenever it came in, we can determine whether they got 18 inches of water or whether they got 3 feet of water, whether somebody's telling us, they're leading us in the right path. And then we can go from that point. It's tools to make our job easier. This is just GIS mapping as well as maintenance of the GIS.
Okay. Need a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Lamb Williams, second by Gilbert.
Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Cole. Wesley. Dugas.
Yes.
Gilbert. Gilbert.
Yes.
Lamb Williams. Cole.
Yes.
Wesley.
Not near as much enthusiasm as normal, Lori.